What's up, y'all? So I just thought I would do this real quick video. I'm filming this in the time of Corona, so everybody's got a lot of time on their hands. And this is gonna be a real quick video just talking about how to add a sub out to any amp. So you can, it doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's, you could really do this with any audio output source. If you might have to find some adapters to do this if you're not using 1/4 inch. For me, I was just using 1/4 inch, so it all worked real nicely. I had an amplifier that I thought really needed a sub out. Long story short, it actually kind of doesn't need the sub out. But so I use this gear for other things, but I don't actually use it for the original purpose I bought it much. So what you're going to need is, first, you're going to need an ABY box. Okay. And then second, you're going to need some kind of an EQ pedal. So this is the Boss one. I think it works pretty good. This is a live wire ABY box. I don't know if it really matters on difference of ABY boxes at all. But if you don't know what an ABY box is, an ABY box, basically what it does is it takes a single signal in the middle there. You can see there's three inputs / outputs. They all function as in and outputs. There's one input / output, but and then there's two outputs. Right? Alternatively, so what it does is it takes a signal, it splits it into two, right? It splits it into two identical signals. Also, you could have it select just one of the two signals. So it has two options. It has A and B. If you click this button, then now you're sending in to one and you're sending out of both. Same signal, just split the signal in half. Or you can click this button, which is A or B. And when you click this button, then what it does is it goes in the input and it sends out to one or the others. And when you plug it in, there's lights that tell you which one it's going to. If you don't plug it in, you can still use it. You just don't get the lights, which is kind of funny. The guy at Guitar Center convinced me to buy the power supply for it, but the power supply just lights up the lights. So whatever. So that's the ABY box. And then the equalizer is basically just, it's a frequency filter. So what it's going to do is it's going to either boost or cut specific frequencies that you want to boost or cut. In this case, since what we're trying to do is we're trying to add a sub out, what we want to do is we want to only open up these guys go up and down. That's completely cutting the signal. That's boosting the signal. And what you want to do is you want to only boost the sub frequencies, so 100 hertz and below, and only let those frequencies through. And then you notice all the rest of these, right? They're all pushed down. Everything except that lowest end. Essentially what we have along here is this is your lowest end frequencies, this is your highest end frequencies, and then this last one is a volume. So we've kept the volume up, we've kept the low end frequencies up, and we've cut everything else. So essentially what this is it's a low pass filter, right? It's a physical low pass filter. Now what you do is you take your ABY box, you send your signal from, in my case it was for a Nord Electro that I was playing organ through. So I didn't really need a stereo signal. This does get a little bit complicated if you wanted to do a stereo signal. So I just sent a single mono signal of the organ sound into the input of the ABY box. So then I'm sent out with two identical mono signals of that. One of those signals I sent to my normal amp, and then the other signal, right? So we'll say in this example, B, right? B went to my normal amp, and A went straight into the input of the EQ pedal, the low pass filter. And then the output of that, it's an identical signal to what I sent to my amp, except it's only the sub frequencies, which is exactly what you would basically be getting if you had a sub out option on your amp. So again, one more time, signal goes into the ABY box, and then two identical signals come out. One signal just goes to your amp. The other signal goes to an EQ pedal first, which is only letting through the low frequencies. And so now on the output of the EQ pedal, all you have is the low frequencies coming from your original signal. And then what you have is you have two different signals. You have one that's your normal dry signal, which in my case was going to a Leslie. And then you have your only low frequency filter, which gets sent to wherever you want it to get sent to. In my case, I was sending it to a bass amp. So anyone who, just a side note, anyone who's thinking about, well, but then you don't get the Leslie effect on the sub out, that is true, but on the actual Leslies, when they have a sub out, you don't get that anyway. So it's not like you're sacrificing anything that you wouldn't be sacrificing if you got a real Leslie 3300, for example, which a Leslie 3300 does have the sub out, but the sub out doesn't have the Leslie effect on it. Anyways, hopefully that's helpful. Some of y'all probably might have just said that's the most obvious goddamn thing in the world, but hopefully it was helpful. And yeah, I appreciate y'all watching. Give me if you dig this kind of stuff. This is basically what I do on my channel. Is for the most part is sort of post, oh, I figured out how to do this thing, or post tutorials on different things. So this is kind of what I do. If you dig this kind of stuff, give me a subscribe, give the video a like, and appreciate y'all watching. Thanks.